What's up, yo guys? I'm Frances Lopez, 26 years old Filipina vlogger. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I post in my Facebook story, I ask you guys some questions related to a senior high school subject, which is 21st century literature from the Philippines and the world. Because my other profession is a teacher to Rizal University in this subject. I'm teaching for 2 years now. I am not alone in this video. I invited my co-teacher in JRU and she is Binibining Cathleah LLAGAS. Introduce yourself, ma'am.
So hi guys, I'm Cathleah LLAGAS. I'm 26 years old. I'm the co-teacher of Binibining Frances in JRU and we're teaching the same subject.
Without further ado, let's get started. Before we start the Q&A, we will explain a little history of Philippine and Asian literature. Some of the events in contemporary and modern period 1960 until present. Martial law repressed and curtailed human rights, including freedom of the press. Writers use symbolisms and allegories to drive home their message at the face of heavy censorship. Japanese occupation 1942 to 1960. War years 1942 to 1944. Tagalog poets away from the Balagtas tradition and instead wrote in simple language and free verse. Pinakamabuting maikling katang Pilipino. 1943. Compilation of the short story contest by the military government. Period of maturity and originality, 1945 to 1960. First, bountiful harvest in poetry, fiction, drama, and essay. Second, Filipino writers mastered English and familiarized themselves with driver's techniques.
For American colonial period, 1910 to 1945. Poems were written in a maturish and mushy, which phrasing and diction is awkward and artificial. Short story like Dead Star Pass Marquez Benitez, highly influenced by Western literary trends like Romanticism and Realism. Short stories, most prevalent literary form of Jose Garcia, earned the international title of Poet of the Century.
And here's some of the literary forms. Propaganda literature, reformatory and objective, political essays, satires, editorials, and news articles. Diaryong Tagalog, founded by Marcelo del Pilar, La Solidaridad, whose editor-in-chief is Graciano Lopez Saina, political novels. No Limitangere and El Filibusterismo, Jose Rizal's masterpieces that paved the way to the revolution. Second, revolutionary literature. More propagandistic than literary as it is more violent in nature and demanded complete independence for the country. Political essays help inflame the spirit of revolution. Kalayaan, newspaper of the society. Folktales, myths, explain how the world was created, why some places have waterfalls, volcanoes, and mountains. Legends, explain the origin of things. Characteristics, riddles, bugtong, battle of wits among participants. Proverbs, salawikain, wise sayings that contains a metaphor used to teach as a food for thoughts. Tanaga, a monorhyming heptasyllabic quatrain expressing insight and lessons on life. C. Fables, use animal characters. Fantastic stories, deal with underworld characters such as Tiyanak, Aswang, Kapre, and others. Epics, these are narratives of sustained length based on oral tradition revolving around supernatural events or heroic deeds.
In literary forms, religious literature, religious lyrics written by Ladino poets, and were used to teach Filipinos and the Spanish language. Passion, long narrative poem about the passion and death of Christ. The most popular was Ang Mahal na Pasyon ni Jesucristo, Panginoon natin, by Aguino de Belen. Cenaculo, dramatization of the Passion, it shows the passion and death of Christ. Secular, non-religious literature. Awit, made for singing and chanting. Corrido, metrical tale written in octosyllabic quatrains. Prose narratives, written to prescribe proper decorum. Folk songs, it is form of folk lyric which expresses the hopes and aspirations, the people's lifestyle as well as their loves. These are often repetitive and sonorous, didactic, and naive.
So we're done with Philippine history. Let's go to the Asian literature history.
Asian literature encompasses the rich and widely diverse cultural and ethnic heritage found in such countries as China, India, Japan, Vietnam, Korea, and more. By its technical term, it is basically the literary products made in continent Asia throughout history. It is basically Asian American literature also shows the impact of immigrating to a new country, with the Asian characters trying to retain their previous cultures and adjust to new situations. It provides readers with opportunities to explore various cultures through wide variety of literary genres.
That's the history of both Philippine and Asian literature. We will proceed to question and answer. The questions that our student out there gave to us.
Princess, I'm so excited to answer their questions, and I hope that after they watch this vlog, they will broaden and gain their knowledge.
I agree, Kat. So let's start. First question is, what is Asian literature and Philippine literature? What is the similarities and differences between the two?
So the difference between the Asian and the Philippine literature. Asian literature refers to the literature that was written over a period of thousands of years. In a variety of countries in Asia, the study of the massive amount of Asian literatures as a whole requires the aggregation of literature under the specific headings. Asian literature can be divided into hosts of different labels, categorized according to religion, zone, region, ethnic group, literary genre, historical perspective, or language of origin. While the Philippine literature is literature related to Philippines from the ancient times, through its provincial inheritance and on to the present.
While their similarities is both a kind of writing composing that was generally controlled by the environmental factors culture of the time and regularly communicates the belief systems persuasive in the time.
As you can see, they are also alluding to the writing that was composed over a time of thousands of years. They are passed from generation to generation.
That's right, Kat. Let's proceed to the next question. Who are the well-known national artists to the both countries? Here are some of our Philippine national artists. We will not tackle everyone because it will consume a lot of time.
These are the national artists in the Philippines. Nick Joaquin, National Artist for Literature 1976. His pen name is Quijano de Manila. Filipino novelist, poet, playwright, essayist, and biographer whose works present the diverse heritage of the Filipinos people. One of his famous work is May Day Eve, and one of his award on June 1, 1973. He won in the Seattle Literary Award contest for his submitted collection of short stories and poems.
After the Philippine national artists, let's proceed to the Asian literature artists. Bai Feiyu is well known in China as a novelist and screenwriter. He grew up in Chinese countryside during the Cultural Revolution. He wrote Three Sisters and the screenplay for Zhang Yimou's 1996 film Shanghai Triad. In 2011, he won the Mao Dun Literary Prize for his novel Message, one of the most prestigious literature prizes in China.